What is up guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, what I'll be doing is discussing some bad habits that are holding you back in Fortnite. These habits are going to be things that I notice a lot of players doing that really just don't help them improve, and I'll also be giving simple and easy solutions that way you can avoid these bad habits and improve your gameplay dramatically. But before we hop into this video guys, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, which is Ace Defender. Ace Defender is a strategy RPG game for iOS and Android and basically combines tower defense and an idle gameplay style to create an insanely unique experience. Ace Defender features an entire 40 chapters of gameplay which totals nearly 2,000 levels, basically meaning that you won't run out of stuff to do. As well as that, you have 5 different hero factions including Divine, Demon, Shadow, Nature, and Light, which you can level up, combine, or equip with insane gear to create an insanely powerful lineup. Beyond that, the game also has both single player and multiplayer elements, as well as a global leaderboard you can rank up to and live events that you can play in. So whether you're looking for a new game to absolutely grind out or just something cool to do in your spare time, be sure to give Ace Defender a shot. If you want to check it out, you can do so using the link at the top of the description, and by using my link you're also going to get 10 Royal Recruit tickets to get started once you've completed level 2-8, and that's going to be a huge boost and really help you get going. So with that said, be sure to click the link at the top of the description and get started today. And thank you once again Ace Defender for sponsoring this video. But with all that said, if you go on to enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new and want to see more content just like this, and without further ado, let's get into today's video. So the first bad habit that I see so many players doing in practice is not training their aim during their warm-up. Aim training in Fortnite is one of those things that you probably don't look forward to doing, but it seriously helps you a ton when it comes to improvement. The thing is, if you're simply hopping on the game and getting into it, there's no way you're actually going to play a few games and then want to get off and do some aim training, let's be honest. Like, I don't think anyone's getting on the game and then like getting off to go and do aim training and then coming back. I don't know, if you do, then maybe you're just a weirdo. I'm just kidding, I love you all. But with that said, that's why I recommend that every single time you hop on the game to do your aim training first. Whether it's simply 10 minutes to get your hands warm or up to an hour to get a really solid session in, aim training when you first get on is one of those things that's going to help you seriously improve as a player. It might take some time to get used to, but after a few sessions, once you notice your aim improving, chances are you're really going to look forward to aim training and it's going to be a staple part of your practice routine. It's a super simple thing to do and it can make a huge difference. Moving on from that, the second bad habit that so many players have in Fortnite is not enough real gameplay. Most players, when they hop on Fortnite, are going to spend a bunch of time in creative. And don't get me wrong, creative is really good for improvement, but as I always say, creative is meant to be a supplement to your real gameplay and not a replacement for it. It's too often that I see someone getting on the game, hopping into creative, and then simply running creative until they get off. I know this might sound completely obvious, but the best way to improve at Fortnite is, get this, to play Fortnite. That means hopping on the game, getting warmed up, and then hopping into an arena game, scrim game, or something else. As great as other practice methods can be, there's no way to replace the real game. This is simply because the real game has so many factors: looting, farming, rotating, approaching fights, avoiding third parties, taking high ground or low ground. I could go on all day. So next time you get on the game and decide not to bother with arena, remember this video and keep in mind that playing the actual game a lot is the simplest way to get better at it. Another bad habit I see many players doing, and one that kind of ties into that last one, is using creative improperly. As I said before, what most players don't really understand about creative is that it's not meant to replace your actual gameplay. Instead, creative should be a tool to learn and improve on things that you can carry into your real gameplay. A few examples of good ways of using creative might include aim training, piece control, box fighting, or basically any in-game mechanic or strategy that you need to work on. What most players do in creative is they just keep it comfortable and they do what they're good at. For example, most players are good at cranking 90s and building to the sky, which is why you see so many amateur players grinding creative build fights non-stop but then getting stomped when they run into fights in real games. That's because while they do have experience in fights, it's a really specific type of fight with the exact same loot, no heals, unlimited materials, etc. With that said, don't take this as me trying to put down creative, because creative is a really good way to improve, but instead of just using it to mess around and do what you're good at, try to use it as a way to get warmed up and to sharpen the skills that you struggle with. Moving on to our fourth habit though, and this habit is a poor landing strategy. What most players do when they hop on a game is they simply look at the map and they think, alright, this spot is a hot drop, so I'll just go there. Or they'll think, alright, I don't want to play aggressive this game, so I'll just land somewhere cold. But the issue with this idea is that most of the time, other players know the spot better, or there's simply so many players at the spot if you're dropping hot that it's impossible to survive off spawn. With that said, the best way to stop dying off spawn in Fortnite and to become a more consistent player overall is to develop a proper landing strategy. A landing strategy basically refers to having some sort of plan as to where you're going to land and how you're going to approach early game. The way I recommend doing this is to have 3 different landing spots. One landing spot is going to be super aggressive, one's going to be medium population, and then another is going to be super quiet. Preferably these spots are going to be fairly far away from one another, that way where you can adjust to any type of bus route as well. And once you've decided your 3 spots, limit yourself to those exact spots and really try to learn the ins and outs of each one. Every chest spawn, where the most loot is, the best rotation routes, etc. Having 3 different drop spots mastered is really going to help you play consistent while also adapting your strategy depending on how you feel, and it's going to help you a lot when it comes to consistency in early game. Finally guys, the last bad habit I'll be discussing in this video is changing your settings constantly. Now don't get me wrong, I think that changing your settings is great and having optimal settings is really helpful in becoming a better player, but the main issue arises when somebody changes their settings on a constant basis, like every few days or even every week or two. A lot of players tend to have this habit of changing their settings non-stop, whether it's confirm edit on release, keybind, sensitivity, or one of a million other things. The issue with this is that if you're changing your settings constantly, you're never going to be able to truly get used to your settings, and even if you do find a really good setup, you probably won't end up sticking with it because it might not feel perfect after a few days. So what I recommend you do if you're struggling to figure out the best settings is to take a little bit of time and really just try everything out. Bonus points if you can do this during a competitive off-season if you do play competitive, such as a preseason or after FNCS. Basically, take a few days or weeks, however long it takes, and try out every single setting you want to try. Figure out what you like best during that time, and really that way you're going to have tried everything and you won't have that sneaking idea that a different setting might be better for you. Essentially, try to dedicate some time to exploring different settings, keybinds, or whatever else, and that way you're going to have your settings and you won't be so inclined to change them. But with all that said guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video on the bad habits that are holding you back in Fortnite. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing as well if you want to see more content just like this in the future. As well as that, if you're looking for a new game to try out, then be sure to check out Ace Defender down in the description and claim your 10 Royal Recruit tickets for absolutely free. Once again, that link is going to be at the top of the description. With that said though, thank you all for watching this video and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.